Episode 108, Spinny, we back at it. I got a question for you to start this episode, Spinny. What the hell are you wearing? What is
It's
that?
the
Did I see the
Seawolves
Seawolves?
episode. It's the
What?
Seawolves episode, baby. University of
University of
Alaska,
Alaska,
Anchorage.
Anchorage.
Yep, Seawolves, baby.
Huge
I
Seawolves fan or what?
yeah, big Seawolves guy here in Hard-Headed Sports. We're big Seawolves people. You know how it
I
be.
just had to ask. I saw Seawolves. I was like, I don't even know what the hell that is, man. Makes no sense.
I I don't even know where this shirt came from,
Do you
but
know what this is?
I do know that is Mr. I can't make a 3-point shot, only
Oh, get out
mid-ranges
of
high
here.
school jersey.
Mister still getting 25 mil a year at age 34. Come on, DeMar DeRozan high school jersey. Yes, of course. On that note, we are going to talk about DeMar DeRozan's contract a little bit, but first, let's hear from Jack. Spinny, I didn't even tell you about episode 108. It is not the damn Seawolves episode. Okay, it's not.
Ah,
The first episode 108 actually does tie into our first headlines we are going to discuss. The 108th pick, Spinny, believe it or not, in the 2024 NFL Draft. Rest in peace to Khyree
wow,
Jackson. He was the 108th pick, Spinny, believe it or not.
wow. That's kind of wild, actually. But
Isn't that
holy,
wild? It
R.I.P.
like
man. Jeez,
it like gave
that
me
was
goosebumps when I look it up. I was
yeah.
like,
What the
no
heck?
way he was the 108th pick. I had to like
Yeah, that's
triple check it,
insane.
and yeah. So rip to Khyree Jackson. As we all
Wow,
know, him and two
damn.
other friends died in a car accident caused by a drunk driver. He was our fourth round pick, cornerback out of Oregon. Both of his buddies that passed away as well were D1 football players too. I mean, obviously, it's heartbreaking to see anyone so young pass away, especially in a completely avoidable situation like this. So, the 100 and episode 108 spinning the Khyree Jackson episode.
Wow, it's actually not the Seawolves episode. It is the Kyrie Jackson episode. That's too damn crazy, man. Super sad. On top of sounds like being a really good human being, and condolences to the family. It seemed like he actually was gonna have a chance to like make the roster and like be a contributing player. So
Big
um,
physical corner. I mean, 6'3", 6'4". I was, I think both of us were kind of excited to see how he could perform in Flores' system. But yeah, like you said, obviously off the field, great guy, and the two, his two buddies that passed away too. They're gonna be the ones that are lost in the media storm because their friend Khyree was the NFL player. So condolences to all of the loved ones affected by this tragedy. That's for sure. The
that
Khyree Jackson episode 108. We continue. We're going to talk about the Olympic roster. Now, Spinny, I just have a couple questions for you in regards to the roster. Obviously, as we know, Kawhi was replaced by Derek White. What do you make of no Jaylen Brown, but there being three Celtics players? He's not one of them.
you know I am not usually the conspiracy theorist. You know this. You know I am probably one of the more anti-conspiracy theory people out there. I make
Yep.
fun of Fetty
You
on a
don't even
regular
believe in
basis
aliens.
for
You don't even believe in aliens. So,
not 100%, no.
yeah.
I don't believe 9/11 was faked either. So, I mean, that's probably like the other number one conspiracy. So, um, but Kyrie Irving and Jaylen Brown both left off this roster. One dropped by Nike, given all the not the most normal things that he did. The other one, super critical of Nike, Jaylen Brown, for them dropping Kyrie, for the things that they do to make their products that aren't the most humane, which we all know about, but they just have a good PR guy that covers it up with classic
Right.
whatever. So two guys that have critical of that are either dropped by or have been super critical of Nike in the last 2 to 3 years, both probably should be on the team and aren't. Just kind of a very interesting coincidence, especially like you said, when Drew Holiday and Derek White are both on the team. But the Finals MVP is
Finals MVP.
got
Yeah.
it. Got it.
That is very interesting point that you just made. I did not think of it in that way. Those are all accurate points and definitely could point to a little conspiracy there. I didn't think of that.
Grant
That's interesting.
Hill actually addressed this in his press conference. He was asked this by a reporter, and he obviously denied everything. But it's just
Right.
crazy that like this has gotten enough wind to actually like be a question a reporter asked the USA Basketball operations director.
Yeah, for real. Who's starting on this team, Spinny? That's my next question.
Well,
Not necessarily who you think like will actually start, but who do you want to start?
if KD plays, right?
Assuming KD plays, assuming everyone
KD plays, it's gotta be Steph, Ant,
Steph,
KD, LeBron, Embiid.
Embiid, yes,
Yeah.
correct. I agree. It seems
And
crazy
now
that
does Embiid
Jason
finish
Tatum's going to be a
games?
bench player.
Jason Tatum's a bench player. Devin Booker's a bench player. I mean, last night in the exhibition game, or was that last night? 2 nights ago? No, last night.
That was last night. Yep.
Yeah. Booker started over Ant, so I don't know how I necessarily feel about that one there, but Bron, KD, and Steph are getting the nod, all for sure. Pretty much locks as long as they're healthy.
Yeah.
I do think there is a little Embiid Davis discussion, but it's probably going to be Embiid. Even though I could see Davis finishing the games a lot if his defensive shit is on the money like it normally is, and Embiid is either in foul trouble or having one of his Embiid games. I think the personnel is going to vary a lot depending on who we're playing.
Well,
If we're playing
we
smaller,
obviously have personnel to go small too. Like you could play KD, Tatum, and LeBron, and that would be your 3 through 5, and then Ant and Curry or whoever your guards are. Like we have so many different lineup possibilities we can make with this personnel, which is very exciting.
Yeah, and we're gonna obviously try to take advantage as much as we can against teams that don't have guys that can guard Embiid. Like that's going to be a huge mismatch for us.
Yeah, for sure. Listen to these accolades here. All right. Obviously, basically minus Joel Embiid because his ass can't even make it out of the second round. But I digress. Points 189,000 total points on our USA roster, 15 combined titles, 59 combined All NBA selections, and 8 MVP awards, which leads to my simple question to you, Spinny. Is there any country that can beat this team? I don't think so.
No. I mean,
it'll take a miracle.
This is the top three now that this team has been established. The top 3 USA basketball teams of all time are this year, 2008, and 1992. And I don't know if that can really be debated at this point. We'll see. I don't know if this team has as many Hall of Famers on it as especially 1992. Like every single person except Christian Laettner is a Hall of Famer on that team. I don't know if we're going to get to that level with this team. Maybe. I mean, but Tyrese, a lot of career. Derek White, you're looking probably not a Hall of Famer.
Right.
Ant
not yet.
Ant definitely not yet.
Bam isn't yet. So
Bam
you're looking at for sure 4 guys that aren't yet at this moment.
Yeah. So yeah, I think that it's definitely in the top 3 though.
Just classic. It's just funny. All those accolades, and you got Joel Embiid. Can't even. The only one on the USA roster to not make a conference finals is Joel Embiid.
And he started.
Tyrese Halliburton even just did it. Like
literally, Tyrese Halliburton just did it.
Oh my gosh! All right, MLB All-Star. The rosters have been announced, as well as the backups. Even all players have been announced. I don't think they've announced starting pitchers yet, though. AL starters: Adley Rutschman, catcher, obviously. Vladdy at first. Jose Altuve at second, who just announced today that he will not be playing. We got your man's at short, of course. Gunnar Henderson's obviously starting at short. We got Jose Ramirez at third. Yordan Alvarez, DH. Outfield is Judge, Soto, Stephen Kwan. NL.
Stephen Kwan.
Stephen
Everyone,
Kwan.
we're gonna talk about Stephen Kwan later. Shout out to Stephen Kwan question, but I told you so on Stephen Kwan. I've been
Bro's
on
batting
that.
like
I've been on
360,
that.
man.
I've been on that man since rookie year. Everyone be saying he can't, but keep this up. He can't keep this up. We'll see.
You have. I'll give you credit. You have been on him. Bryce Harper, first baseman for the NL. Ketel Marte, second. Trey Turner, shortstop. Alec Baum, third base. Shohei, obviously, DH. Outfield, you got two Padres, Tatis, Jurickson Profar, and Christian Yelich. Those are your starters. Spinny, simply have to ask you, any notable snubs immediately come to mind?
That's a good question.
I have one.
Go ahead.
I would have preferred to see Bryce Turang in there from the Brewers instead of Luis Arraez.
That was my big. That was my
Yes,
number
Luis
one snub
Arraez
too.
is top 3 in MLB in hits, but let's be real. How many of those hits are freaking singles? Like, I'm sorry. I hate to keep bringing that up when it comes to Luis Arraez. That's almost everything he does. He has no power at all at the plate, and he's a complete liability on the defensive end. Bryce Turang on the other side of things, 288 batting average, 29 stolen bases. So he's getting it done at the plate and on the bases. Plus, he's third in the NL among all batters in defensive WAR. So he's getting it done literally everywhere. Huge reason why the Brewers are, 14 games or whatever they are above 500, firmly sitting atop of the NL Central. So I thought he should have been in there too. Also, just the fact that the 2 games over 500 Padres get 5 All-Stars, that does not seem right to me at all.
Yeah, I know. I thought that was crazy. Um, I thought Brandon Nimmo, low key, for the
Yep,
Mets. That was
agreed.
another stub. I know they're not. And I mean, you can even throw Lindor in that as well, honestly. Both of those guys, I think, were definitely borderline. But it's hard, when you have to give everyone one spot and there's only
Yeah.
so many. I mean, there's not a lot of guys I would love taking off of here either.
Yeah, with the MLB, it's not like the NBA or even the NFL where it's like way easier to be like, this guy got snubbed, he should be in there for this player. Because, like you said in MLB, you have to have one player from every team. So you can't necessarily be like, okay, this Angels player, he should be out of there. Well, they have to have one. So like it's a lot harder to actually take somebody out when we're talking snubs. Another snub though, I did think Andres Munoz, closer for the Mariners. He's 14 out of 16 in save chances, 1.5 ERA only. Batters are only hitting 175 against this man. I would have put him in for Clay Holmes, who is the Yankees closer. I get I think he's top MLB in saves right now. I know he has over 20, but there's talk that he's not even going to have the job after the deadline. So it's like this guy's about to lose his closer job on the Yankees, yet he's an all-star. Like that just didn't make sense to me either. Even Griffin Jacks with the Twins, he's been doing amazing out of the bullpen. I would have liked to see him in there instead of Clay Holmes, who's almost at a 3 ERA, which isn't very good for a bullpen pitcher.
Andres Munoz, those fancy baseball peeps that listen to Hard Headed Sports, come shop for him. Come get it from me. Got
Get
a
out of here!
shameless plug. Shameless plug.
Of
Next one,
course,
another young
you
guy
have.
though. Jordan Westberg, third baseman for the Orioles.
Could have been in there, yeah.
Man's hitting slashes are 281, 328, 506. 14 homers, 45 runs scored, 49 RBIs. Just as a comparison, Marcus Simeon, who is in the All-Star team, 229, 295, 378. Worse than all three. Less hits, less home runs, less runs scored, less RBIs, worse WAR. All in it.
It is what it is. Yeah, well, actually, Spain, did you see the news today? The replacement for Jose Altuve. So I was a little mad that we only got one All-Star, but Willie Castro is going in for Jose Altuve. So now we get 2 All-Stars. That's lit. Obviously we have a good enough record where I think we should for sure get 2 All-Stars. I was really shocked when it was announced and we only had Carlos Correa sitting on the bench, and I was like, what the hell? Like, makes no sense. Before we Actually, I'll bring this stat up later. It has a good spot later in the episode to be
All
brought
right,
up.
breaking news
Let's.
then. Breaking
You have
news
breaking
first.
news.
Yeah, Philadelphia 76ers signing another NBA champion veteran.
What did they just do?
NBA champion. Kyle
NBA
Lowry going to the
Kyle Lowry.
76ers. 1 year deal.
Wasn't
I
he
can't
just
believe
he
this
was
man's
just
getting
on the
deals
Sixers?
still.
He was just on the Sixers like a year or two ago.
Yep. Back to the Sixers. He's ring
Whatever, Kyle
chasing. Come
Lowry.
on, you
Yeah,
know
he's
how
ring
that goes.
chasing. I
Yep.
get it. Let's just jump to the NBA since those are our next headlines. Kemba Walker, Cardiac Kemba, has announced his retirement from the game of basketball. He's on the Hornets staff as a player enhancement coach now. I think obviously he'll thrive in that position. Spinny, I mean, obviously in this guy's prime, he was one of the most fun players to watch. Just his undersized guard, his ball handling, his explosiveness. I mean, he was so much fun to watch, man.
His knees let him down, man.
Yep.
I thought he had another good. I mean, thought he had another good at least 2-3 years in him, but yeah, the knees let him down. So great career, great player, super fun to watch. Shout out occasional guest and question maker George Sletta, probably his favorite player of all
Yep.
time. So shout him out on this sad day, but cool to see him as a coach. I mean, it kind of makes sense. He gives me that vibe, so I think he'll, like you said, thrive in that scenario.
Yeah, for sure. Franz Wagner, that leads to my headline, the year we pay unproven stars. Another unproven star gets the absolute bag, 5 years, $224 million. Franz Wagner. I'm just confused why they didn't wait a year. They did it a year early. They could have done it after this upcoming season. I would have waited to see if his 3-point shot improves. Because if it doesn't this upcoming season, I don't think he's worth that much money. Plus, he's not going to make an all NBA team, but in theory, if he does, that contract goes all the way up to $270 million. Spinny, you kind of in the boat I'm at, or do you think it was the right time to pay Franz that type of money?
The only reason I say I like it is because the 25-26 season, probable 10% raise we're going to see to the salary cap.
It's a good
So
point.
if Franz doesn't make an All NBA team, and that's the contract you've got him at, then you're going to be like, even if he's your third or fourth best player on your team, you're still going to be happy with that contract in 2 years. So that is the one way I see it. But yeah, and I think after the season, especially if he outperforms, right, there's some negotiable points there, especially say he does make an All NBA team this year, then you have to pay him more right away. There's a bunch of stuff with that, but I don't necessarily mind it given the raise we're going to see to the cap.
That is true. I'm so worried about the second apron and stuff. Like they've made it almost impossible, it seems like, to have 3 stars unless you want to go over the second apron. So from that standpoint, I feel like they might be, hindering themselves a little bit because obviously Paulo's going to get the absolute bag. So it's like, are you for sure set that those are your two you want to build your team around? I don't know if I'm quite there yet with Franz. Buddy Hield and Kyle Anderson signed a trade to the Warriors as part of the NBA's first 6-team deal. Spinny, it's pretty irrelevant.
This is one thing I hate about the NBA offseason, though, is this stupid, like, kind of irrelevant deals for the most part that teams just get a random, like, what did the Wolves get? Cash considerations?
Here we go. I got it right here. Mavericks get Klay Thompson, 2025 second round pick. The Wolves got a second round pick in 2025 and a second round pick swap in 2031. Sweet. Love that.
Got it.
We also got cash. Okay. The Warriors received Kyle Anderson and Buddy Hield. I kind of like that for them. I obviously don't think it raised them in the hierarchy of
I
the
don't
West.
like Kyle Anderson for them at all.
I do if he backs up Draymond.
Why do you want two Draymond Greens on your team? You want two Draymond Greens on your team?
Yeah, he can do everything that Draymond does when Draymond's not in the game or
I guess.
suspended.
They just never play him at the same time?
You can't play them at the same time. 100%.
No.
Yeah.
No.
So
ever.
I would sub in Anderson for Draymond. Then you basically are still running the same exact offense. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He can be that point forward.
All right. If that's his role, then it makes sense.
Honestly, I think it's more insurance too. Just given Draymond's erratic behavior, it's more insurance. Like he can just slide into the starting forward spot if Draymond were to be suspended. I just like it from the standpoint that they turned Klay's contract into Anderson and Buddy Hield. Like I don't know. I don't think you can do much better than that. is what I'm saying.
Clay and
That's why
Buddy
I'm saying
Hield
it
are the
doesn't
same to me, I guess, at this point in their careers.
exactly. It doesn't raise them in
So
the Western hierarchy, but like
yeah,
just from switching contract standpoint, I think I like it from that standpoint. Nuggets, they only got cash. I don't even. Oh, I guess they traded Reggie Jackson in this deal. Hornets got Josh Green and Reggie Jackson 2 seconds, and the Sixers got 1 second round pick. So yeah, like I said, it was mostly an irrelevant deal, but still NBA's first 6 team trade Spinny pulled off.
wild.
DeRozan signed and trade with the Kings. That sent Harrison Barnes to the Spurs, Chris Duarte to the Bulls. 3 years, $74 million for DeRozan, final piece. What do you think about the DeRozan's fit with Sacramento?
I don't really mind it. I mean, Fox can shoot threes, and Monk can shoot threes, and Sabonis can shoot ish. I don't mind adding what he brings to their team. I don't think it's gonna add anything crazy, but the only thing that worries me from their perspective is a bunch of guards that can't really play very good defense. I think that's the only downside to this, but 25 mil a year is I think fair, pretty cheap in current NBA terms. So yeah, I think it made sense for Sacramento.
Plus, a guy that kind of revitalized his career in Chicago. Like everyone was kind of thinking he'd be done after that Spurs stint, but he's out here averaging almost 25 a game through his
Yeah.
entire Bulls tenure. So, kind of a weird player. Like he's gotten better later in his career instead of earlier, which is
And then he
don't
got
see that
yeah, he
often.
got worse for a while and then got better
That's
again.
what
I
I'm
don't
saying. It
know. It's
doesn't.
kind of been
It's been
interesting.
on a weird path for my boy
Yeah.
Demar. I like to fit with the Kings, though. I think he's the type of player that can basically fit in with any team. But like you said, they have no defense now, and so from that standpoint, I don't think it raises them in the hierarchy in the West at all. Like, they're still sitting in that 5 to 8 range, probably. You know what I mean?
But they did get better. I
They
don't know
got
how
better.
much better,
Still,
but they did get
talent-wise,
better.
they got better.
Yeah.
Yes, for sure. What do you think about the Spurs adding more winners on their team? I should say. Obviously, Barnes isn't a superstar in this league, but he's a winning player and definitely more of a winning player than Wemby's been around last year. So I kind of liked it. Chris Paul coming in, Harrison Barnes, more vets, guys that can play around Wemby and show him how to win in the NBA. I kind of like it from that standpoint. But
I also like it from the standpoint that I think the Spurs are just going to be better next year, and all those veterans that you can add might get you a couple more wins or a couple more, you know, good regular season performances. And I think the Spurs are trying to get in the play-in. I really do. I think that's their goal.
so were you just a year early on your 40-win Spurs prediction? Is that what you're saying?
Probably, but I'm probably just going to smash the under this year out of spite.
Yeah, probably. Last headline here. NBA media rights deal. Holy shit, Spinning 11 years, $76 billion. Sets
$76
NBA record.
billion dollars.
Billion dollars. Billion with a B, correct. Yeah. Ridiculous, bro. Like so and for those that don't know, 51-49 is the split in the NBA. So, a little over 38 billion of that's going to the players. So just think of that for a second there. This is an NBA record in terms of length and money for the media rights deal. Spinny, I'm gonna read this little excerpt that you sent me the other day. Blew my mind. So this deal, obviously, it means that the cap's gonna rise 10% annually, which is the max it can rise. You mentioned that a little bit ago. This means players like Shai Gilgeous and Luka, your guys that are due extensions here that have been first team All NBA players, will likely be making around $80 million per season in 2030. And possibly in the mid 2030s, you're looking at people making $100 million per season. Spinning, I've always been the guy to say, good for you, get your money. But I'm sorry, man. No athlete should be making $100 million for one season. That is absurd to me.
It's going to be crazy to see the first player to break $1 million a game in the NBA. That's going to be wild.
They're going to be
What's,
making over $1 million a game, bro. Like,
yeah, I
what?
mean, once you get in that $80 million range, you're at like $1 million a game roughly, which is unbelievable. Absolutely crazy. But if TV stations are willing to make the money, they're making the money back from somewhere else. So, I mean, I think it is a 51-49 split. I think it's fair as hell when it comes to that. So if people are willing to pay it, I mean, I just don't see why not, I guess.
Yeah, I get it. It's just a crazy concept to me. All I'm gonna
Yeah.
say is these dudes better be playing damn near close to, if not all 82 games from here on out. That's all I'm gonna say. No more of this freaking resting bullshit. If you're getting $1 million per game, get your ass out there and play. Yeah,
Insane.
unreal. TV schedule now is looking starting the 2025-2026 season. Peacock will be streaming games on Monday. Every day of the week, we'll have NBA games on national TV. Monday's Peacock,
Which
Tuesday's
is awesome.
NBC,
Thank
which is
you
awesome.
for that part. That
This
part's
is
awesome.
awesome. Wednesday, ESPN still. Amazon, Thursday. They love their Thursdays. Friday, ESPN/Amazon. Same with Saturday. And Sunday will be NBC/ESPN. No more TNT, as we kind of talked about a couple episodes ago, which is
TNT
sad.
does TNT does have the right to match
Okay. I
any
don't think they're
one
going to, though.
any one of the individual company numbers. TNT does have the right to match
Okay.
within 5 days of them receiving the exact contract.
Okay.
So whenever it's actually finalized and sent to them by the NBA, they do have a chance to match. I agree with you; they probably won't, but that is up for grabs.
That's interesting. So I guess this is the story to continue monitoring Hardee's and Hardos.
Yes.
As Spinny and I have said time and time again, we don't want to see the TNT crew gone. So if they are in fact off of TNT, NBC, ESPN, Amazon, one of y'all hire those dudes because we need them in the NBA. They're the best. That was our last headline, Spinny. I think, man, it's time for me to continue this win streak. I don't even know the last time you won trivia, bro. Like, have you even won in the
Today,
last couple months?
today's the
Oh,
last
today?
time I won.
Today? All right. We'll get
Today.
to it then. I will start us off, Spinny. My easy question. Fill in the blank. This will be LeBron's blank trip to the Olympics.
Fifth.
The
Is
answer
it
is
six?
it's 4.
It's 4.
Remember, I thought this would have been an easy question. Maybe it's not. 04, 08, 2012, 3 in a row.
Yep.
Didn't do 16 because he just came back from 3-1, just won the title. So he didn't do 16. And he
I
didn't
thought
do
he did
20.
16.
He didn't do 2020 because in 2020 we had the COVID crap. They played their, the bubble championship in the fall, and then they had to start the season right away. So everything was weird. So in 2021, when they actually did the Olympics, he didn't want to do it because his body was not in the right schedule, basically. So he hasn't done the Olympics in 12 years, bro.
That's
12
crazy.
freaking years. Yeah.
Dang, I'm not going to win doing stuff like that, though. All right, my easy question. Who leads the WNBA in rebounds per game?
Oh my gosh. It's one of two people. So
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it is.
I have a
It's
50-50 shot here.
You do.
Oh man. I'm gonna stick with Asia Wilson. Does she still have it? Or is Reese pass her?
It is Angel Reese.
Ah! Are you sure you checked that today?
I checked that today. I checked that
Okay.
30 minutes before recording.
All right, that's fair. I know Asia Wilson just had a 2020 game the other day, so.
Yes, and that is not total rebounds. It is rebounds.
That's
per
rebounds
game.
per game. Yes, correct.
Yep.
11.9
rebounds a game for Angel Reese.
11.9.
Yeah.
Did you see Caitlin Clark's stat line the other day too? 29, 13, 6 boards with 3 blocks, 3 just absurd stuff. I don't know
Caitlin Clark, 4th in 3-pointers made per game and 2nd in assists per game in the WNBA currently.
Yeah. How the hell are they going to pick the rookie of the year? Just give it to them both, please.
Wild. Not to mention, wanted to shout out our own quick while we're on the WNBA front. Nafisa Collier, top 5 in points per game for the Lynx, who are
Huge
balling
reason why
right
we're
now.
balling out. Yep.
Third best team in the league, essentially.
Hopefully she comes back from injury soon, though.
Facts.
My medium question, Miller fill in the blank. Blank is the all-time leading scorer for Team USA basketball. What player is the all-time leading scorer for Team USA? And it's frankly not even close.
Is this? Can I get it in my lifetime hit?
I don't know. Can you?
May I?
I mean, the USA basketball has basically only been relevant since '92, since the Dream Team. First year there was pros allowed. I don't know. Yes, he's in our lifetime. There's your hint.
I'm going to say Kobe. Kobe, final.
That is a good guess. It is Kevin Durant. Kevin Durant's the all-time leading scorer. Not even close. Either he has 435 points in the Olympics. Second is Carmelo Anthony.
I knew that.
Yeah, I thought you would, honestly. Carmelo is second with 336. So he has 100 more points than second. And Carmelo has also played in an extra Olympics. Carmelo played in 5 Olympics. KD's played in 4. Kevin Durant, all-time leading scorer. So far, we're 0 for 3, Spinny. Hopefully I can get some questions right for us here.
Via the GOAT, Bob Bustler, which twin holds the Twins' home run record at Target Field? Who's hit the most home runs at Target Field?
Most home runs at Target Field. Wow. I didn't think it would be this tough of a question, actually. I'm kind of stumped. Who's been on her team a long time and hits a lot of nukes? Do I dare say? No, wait. No. Let's just go Nelson Cruz, final answer.
This record was broken last week by
Don't tell me it's Byron
Max Kepler.
Kepler.
Max Kepler, most home runs at Target Field. Max Kepler.
I'm out here roasting this man every trade deadline. I'm like, get this dude off my team. He leads the Twins in home runs at Target Field. Huh, interesting. Spinny. 3 points possible for this hard question.
Also, sorry, it was last month, not last week. Just trying to misspeak a tongue there. Last month.
So three different parts to this question. You're getting a point for each. In the last 30 years, so basically since the '92 Olympics, in essence, in the last 30 years, who has the highest scoring game in the Olympics? You get a point for the name of who it was. You get a point for how many points he scored. So you just got to shout out a number, and you get a point for what country this player is from. Player, what country's from, how many points he scored.
Damn.
So you can at least shout out random country, random points, potentially get something here. I'll give well, what do we do here? Let's go 1. I'm not going to give 2. That's too nice. I'll do 1 point on each side. If you're 1 point off.
Okay. So it can't be someone from the US, I feel like. I'm gonna go anti-US here.
Okay.
So
this is the highest scoring game in the last 30 years and second highest in the Olympics of all time. The highest was actually from Brazil in like the 70s. So
we're gonna go David Robinson, USA, 38.
All 3 incorrect. You should have stuck to your non-USA theory there, because that would have brought you on the right track. It is some random dude from Slovenia named Luka Doncic, who scored 48 points in 2020 Olympics. 48 points.
That's crazy because I was going to say Luka. Luka was my number one guess that entire time, but I didn't think Slovenia ever made the Olympics. I did not think he ever made the Olympics with them.
2020.
Why do I second guess myself like that? Fuck me.
You could have got 3 or 2 of the 3 points there. Are we about to go over? Are we going to tie 0-0? Has that ever happened?
I don't know if that's ever happened, but I think it's about to because my question is who's last in the WNBA standings currently?
Wow, that's actually a hard question. Wow, that's actually...
It's a 1 in 12 shot.
That actually kind of concerns me that it's a hard question. That means it's going to be a team I'm definitely not expecting. Let's go to Sparks. Final answer.
It is the Dallas Wings.
Wings?
Sparks are second to last, though. Sparks 5-17, Dallas 5-18.
Ah, dang it!
Yeah.
I should get a half a point, so I win by half a point.
How are we gonna do this, boss? We can't just 0-0 it on here. That's disrespectful to trivia itself. Honestly,
it is. We might have to come back next week with a tiebreaker or something.
Or do we phone a friend? Do we have somebody we think we're confident will actually answer?
I'm not confident in any of our friends. Sorry, y'all.
Frick. All right, we're gonna try. We're gonna try one phone a friend here live on Hardheaded Sports. See if we can make it happen. Bear with me. Come on. This is the person I have the most confidence in to answer their phone. So we'll see.
Still ringing.
Still ringing. Come on, baby. Come on. Oh, no. Don't do it to me. All right. Well, you're right. Bus was right. Friends,
I told you, man.
Friends fail. Let's go 1-1. We're not waiting until next week. We can't make the Hardies and Hardos wait like that. We'll each come up with one question, real quick, answer it. One of us gets it, we win. If not, then we'll come back next week. I'll go first. Who leads the MLB in hits? Total hits.
I just literally looked at this the other day, too. So infuriating. Because I know it's not Luis Arraez.
I thought there was a good chance you looked at this, which is why
I did look at this literally the other day. I mean, Luis Arraez is going to have to be my guess, but I know he's second or third.
He is second. Number 1 is Bobby Witt.
It's Bobby. Dang it.
122 to 119 over Luis Arraez.
120. Okay. My question. We all know the White Sox are the worst team in the MLB. Who is the second worst team as of today?
Jeez, boss.
And I will also give you the hint just so that we can hopefully get a winner here. It's an NL team.
All right, let's go Marlins. Miami Marlins.
Correct. Spinny.
Actually?
Yeah, the Marlins are
go!
Terrible this year.
I told
32
you it was going to be today, boss. I told you it was going to be today, baby. Let's go. I told you it was going to be today. Yes, sir.
Spinny's so excited for his 1-0 win.
My 1-0 win, baby.
Absolutely
my overtime win. Overtime, baby.
We'll do absolutely nothing for the standings of all time. That's all I will say.
Right.
You can have your 1-0 win.
Win's a win, baby. Win's a win.
348 winning percentage for the Marlins, 351 for the Rockies. They were that close. I was hoping you were going to say the Rockies. All right, Spinny, you win. We're going to finish episode 108, the Khyree Jackson, rest in peace episode, talking some MLB. We have some questions, little mid-season mailbag segment here. Spinny has the questions this time around. Spinny, start shouting them out, man.
Hostess with the mostest this time. Let's go. Questions are for me. You get Bus's answers. Let's get after this thing. Just wanted to shout out Connor Forberg, George Fisk, Evan Christensen, and Mitch VB, as well as Bob Bustler for the questions this week.
Of course, Bob.
Thank you to all of those humans. We're going to start out with question number 1. Managers on the hot seat. So can I get some current MLB managers you think are on the hot seat?
I'll give an obvious 2 right away, and then some sneaky ones. So, okay. So Pedro Guerrero, White Sox manager, obviously he's on the hot seat.
The worst team in the league by
Yeah.
10 games, managers on the hot seat? Got it.
So obviously his roster's not his fault. He last year was his first year with the team. They lost 101 games. It's looking like they're going to lose more than 101. But reports are saying that he's lost the locker room. He's lost the players already. So from that standpoint, they're probably going to just move in another direction.
Yeah.
Dave Martinez, Nationals. Now, it would be weird to fire a manager that won you your only ring in franchise history.
Yep.
But they have 4 straight and about to be 5 straight losing seasons since then. So it might be time for them to go in a new direction. I think those are kind of the obvious ones. AJ Hinch, another AL Central guy. He's for the Tigers. He has 4. This is his 4th full season. 0 winning seasons. 0 seasons above 500. They're trending in that direction once again. So some of the worst teams in the MLB these last couple of years, obviously their managers are going to be on the hot seat. Now, some sneaky ones. Aaron Boone, Yankees.
Ooh, that is hot.
Think about how long he's been with the Yankees. They've never made the World Series. Think about how high expectations are every single year for that ball club. They're always winning now at the deadline, always trying to sign guys, especially now once you get Juan freaking Soto on your team too. Like, you got to make some sort of run. So we all know they've been struggling as of late, right? So if these struggles continue in the second half of the season, even into the playoffs, we see another early exit for the Yankees. I think it's probably time Aaron Boone. See ya. This one's really going to surprise you, Spinny. I think there is a chance we could see Dave Roberts on the hot seat for the Dodgers. Now, in theory, that makes no sense. In theory, that makes no sense, right? 8 seasons.
Yeah.
I looked up 8 seasons with the Dodgers. He's made the playoffs in all 8. He's also first in winning percentage among managers with at least 1,000 career games. So in essence, he's the best manager we have in the MLB right now. But think about how many early exits this freaking Dodgers team has had in his tenure. The only world championship they have is 2020, which no one even counts. They only played 60 freaking regular season games, like a third of their regular season schedule. So if they have another early exit after adding Yamamoto, after adding Shohei Ohtani, the best player in baseball, you still have all these other guys. You added Glass now. You still have Freeman, Mookie Betts, all these players. If they can't make at least to the World Series, you might be seeing Dave Roberts can too. So some obvious names there, but some hot names too.
That's hot. Also, Dodgers really struggling right now for their top pitchers on the IL. So I think it's going to be tough for them going forward in this next little stretch. But you could be right. All right, next question. Why does Fetty think Torkelson can play in the majors? Is there any chance he makes a good career he makes good on his career?
Is this a Forbrook question?
This is a Bob Bustler question.
He said, why do I think Spencer Torkelson can play in the MLB?
Yeah.
Well, I don't. I don't think he can.
I don't. Okay. Got it.
Because he has shown me nothing that he can other than a hot 2-month stretch last season where, after the All-Star break last year, he went nuts on home runs, right? Other than that, he has done literally nothing in his career. He plays for the Detroit Tigers, who are one of the most cursed franchises in the MLB as well. That I feel like that always, it shouldn't, but I feel like that plays a part in things, right? So, I don't know. I don't have any faith in Spencer Torkelson anymore. I really don't. I'm really completely off the Spencer Torkelson train. How about you? Are you finally off it too?
Nah, you know me and the Tigers. You know me and the Tigers. I'll always be hooked back into it. You know how that goes. Do you like the new changes to the home run derby for this year?
New changes.
Yes. So
Wow. I guess I didn't even
first
notice that.
first round will be a top four go on, bottom four are eliminated.
Oh, no head to head. Okay.
And then it'll be matchup head to head in the semifinal and final rounds. If there's a tie, it will go to the longest home run. There is now a pitch limit. So the first round will be 3 minutes or 40 pitches. Second semifinal and final, or sorry, the first round and the semifinals will be 3 minutes or 40 pitches, whatever comes first. And the finals will be 2 minutes or 27 pitches, whatever comes first. And then bonus pitches now. Instead of the 30 seconds of extra time, each player now gets bonus pitches up until they record 3 outs during that bonus period. And if a player hits a home run of at least 425 feet within that period, then the bonus period is extended to last until the player records his 4th out.
Okay. I would say for the most part, I like those rules. I definitely love the first round top 4 move on, bottom 4 out. Just so you can eliminate the possibility that somebody moves on because they won 11-10, even though the 11 was the second fewest home runs out of all 8 guys, So you eliminate that possibility by doing it that way. So I love it from that standpoint. I'm not really a fan of the pitches, if I'm being honest. I think they should be allowed to just see however many pitches they want in the 3 minutes. If they don't like a pitch, they shouldn't have to swing at it. And now I feel like they're gonna have to swing at a lot more pitches, knowing that, okay, I only get 40 of these things, right? So it's like, I don't know. I love the crazy home run totals, like these guys have been hit like 35 home runs in a round. Like that's not gonna happen with only 40 pitches.
It's also means the accuracy of your pitcher is very
Exactly.
vastly more important.
That's what I'm saying. That's like most of these people, they have their dad do it, or
I was gonna say, I don't know if that's gonna happen. Yeah,
and I think that's another cool aspect of the home run derby is like you get to see these guys' personal connections too.
Yeah,
and I think that kind of stuff should be celebrated. So I don't like it from that standpoint either. But for the most part, I'm with those changes, especially the first 4 move on, bottom 4 out. I love that.
Yeah, I like that too because you still get the matchup thing, which is kind of cool. Get some little rivalry going, but at the same time, it's only in the last 2 rounds. Okay, why doesn't the MLB do a July 4th like the NFL, NBA on Christmas, Thanksgiving? Do you
Who
think
asked that
that's
question?
something?
Because that is an amazing question.
That's Forbrook. It's kind of been out in the ethos a little bit here recently. Right. Do you think it would be successful?
No, I don't.
Wow.
Well, okay, so like define success, right? Like what are we talking about successful?
I think we're talking about more viewership than the average regular season game. Like the viewership difference that the NBA sees is in percentage wise compared to their normal regular season games.
Right. So as it relates to a regular season game, regular season game in the MLB. Okay.
Yeah.
As long as we're not relating it to how well
they're not going to get that viewership ever.
Yeah.
But are they going to get better viewership than average? Are they going to double their viewership or whatever?
Yes. Through that lens, I believe it would be successful. I mean, why not, right? Like when I saw that in the ethos, like you said, it's been everywhere these last couple weeks. It just really made me think. I was like, how has that actually not been a thing? Like these other sports have a holiday designated for their games, and think about how well they do. Like NFL on Thanksgiving, like that is like everyone knows when it's Thanksgiving, there's NFL games on. When it's Christmas, there's NBA on. Like it could just be one of those things. Oh, July 4th, there's going to be some cool MLB games on. Probably feature some of our stars, some of our best teams. Maybe you throw the Yankees versus the Dodgers on that type of day. You could easily do stuff like that. I'm shocked that there's not something like that. But of course, it's the freaking MLB. They don't know how to market themselves.
They're terrible. Also, my only thing with it is, though, it is an outdoor holiday. As opposed to like Thanksgiving and
That's true.
Christmas, we traditionally think more of an
Right.
indoor type holiday. Like, I don't know if I don't know if TV and the 4th of July really mix,
That's true.
So like that part of it is my only thought as to why maybe they haven't
Yeah.
um, done it yet. Because I was thinking Memorial Day too, the MLB could do, but again, a lot of times it's outside, not inside
Right.
during those holidays. But
Oh, hey kids, it's the middle of summer. Why don't you come sit inside and watch a baseball game rather than go outside and play with your friends and go on a lake and yeah. No,
exactly.
I hear you from that point. Yeah. That's probably why they
Okay.
haven't done it.
Um, can Paul Skeens be the face of the MLB?
No, I
Mm,
don't think so. Um, as long as Shohei Ohtani is in the MLB, he's going to be a bigger deal than Paul Skeens, even if he's not pitching. Like this year, Ohtani's in the news every other day, and he hasn't thrown one single pitch. So I do think Ohtani is the face of the league by far, as long as he's playing. Um, Also, just from what I said a little bit ago, the MLB doesn't know how to market themselves at all. They had freaking Mike Trout come in, like win MVP as a rookie or second year, whenever the hell he did it. He got second or first in MVP in like five of his first 6 seasons MLB, and they still weren't even marketing him. Like, they don't know how to market their stars. So I don't know if there's even like really a quote unquote face of the MLB because they just simply don't know how to market themselves at all. We've seen this time and time again.
love that. From first time question giver Mitch VB, who is the sexiest MLB mascot?
What?
Who is the sexiest MLB mascot, Bus? You gotta
What
pick
did I
one. You
just?
gotta throw it out there.
What?
Most beautiful mascot.
I gotta like just freaking look
Yeah,
at these guys now.
little googling real quick.
All right. Well, obviously, TC Bears towards the top. Come on now. It's just simple, to the point. Some of these mascots are like so absurd looking. It's like what the hell is that even? Like I like the simplicity when it comes to mascots, especially when it
I
comes to
I feel
MLB
like
mascots.
The A's elephant definitely has to be in there. We love that man.
Okay, I
Um,
like him. Yeah,
yep. And
I see him.
I'm gonna put the Phillies Big Bird looking ass, green Big Bird looking ass
I
on
love
there
it.
as well.
Okay, I do love that one too, actually. That's but in terms of sexiest, like best
Yes.
looking, I don't know
Yeah.
if it's the sexiest. We're just talking about ones we like, then yeah, that's definitely in there. I think the Baltimore Oriole is just sharp. Again,
Yep.
very, very to the point. It's just simply an Oriole. It makes sense. Like the Phillies one, yeah, I like it. I think it's funny. What the hell is that thing spinning? Like what is that? That's a Philly? That's what that is? Like
Yep.
I don't know. I don't know. Amazing question though. Thank you.
Yes. All right. Couple of Twins related questions now.
Let's go.
Um, do you, this is Twins and Cleveland related here, so there's a little AL Central. Part one: do you think the Twins can catch the Guardians and win the Central? And two, is Cleveland's hitting, especially Kwan's, sustainable?
Yes, the Twins can catch the Guardians, I believe. Um, I made this point in Now Travis show actually on Tuesday. If you look at the home and away splits, the Guardians are significantly better at home. I think that is gonna fade a little bit. They're about 12 to 14 games, I want to say, above 500 at home. Um, Obviously, home field advantage is a thing. They're going to keep winning home games. I'm not saying they're going to start losing them all, but I think that gap's going to narrow a little bit. They're not very good on the road. They have an under 500 record on the road. Uh, their best pitcher, Shane Bieber, is not playing. I think an injury like that impacts a team more throughout the entire season rather than immediately. So these are all reasons why I think the Guardians will slump a little bit in the second half. I'm still anticipating them being a playoff team, whether they win the division or a wild card for sure. But I do think with the recent surge we've seen the Twins offense have, we can definitely catch them. Now on to Stephen Kwan. No, I don't think a 370 batting average isn't sustainable. That is absurd for him to be batting almost 370. I do think this guy is gonna for sure be in the mix for the AL batting title, if not the best batting average in the entire MLB for sure. So, yes, he's gonna slow down, but I'm still expecting, like a 330, if not higher batting average from Stephen Kwan. I'm not gonna lie. I think he can do it throughout the whole season. Spinny, I know you think so too. That's your man's.
That's my man's. Definitely think so. I think it's more likely to make it as a wild card team than it is that we catch the Guardians. How do you feel about the Twins only getting one All Star in comparison to Detroit getting two, the Astros getting three, and Kansas City getting four? Especially given the fact that since the 20 game mark, the Twins have the second best record in the American League.
Oh, this is before I answer your question. This was what I wanted to bring up earlier. Shout out my dad, Bob Buster, being the absolute Twins savior. I will mention this story quickly on the pod for the Hardys and Hardos. I went out to Cleveland at the end of May just for a little weekend trip. We were just walking around for the games, right? And we saw Rocco Baldelli just jogging on the street, just going for a little pregame jog. My dad stops him and tells Rocco, see ball, hit ball, pats him on the back. Ever since then, the Twins have been seeing the ball and hitting the ball. That's for damn
That's
sure. Like
what
you said,
he stopped Rocco and said, see ball, hit ball, and that's all he said and then walked away.
we said, okay, we said, hey,
Yeah.
Rocco. He's like,
Yeah.
hey, guys, how you doing? You excited for the games? Blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
Then my dad said that, pat him on the back. He kept his jog going back to the stadium. Dead ass. That's a real story that happened. And almost since then, if you look at the last 30-day splits, yes, it's been, 45-ish, 50 days since that series. But last 30 days, the Twins lead the MLB in batting average, on base percentage, slugging, OPS, everything. The Twins lead. They're second or third in home runs in the last 30 days. Like, we're absurd. Like you said, we have the second
See
best
ball,
record in
hit
the
ball,
AL.
baby. Let's
See
go.
ball, shout out my dad, Twin savior. Sorry, that little tangent. I completely forgot what your question was.
Twins All Star snubbing
Okay.
comparing to Detroit getting
Yes.
two, Astros getting three,
Correct.
Kansas City getting four.
Obviously that's changed now since whoever asked that.
Because now we do have two.
Because now we do have two. I think again, this just comes down to the fact that you have to have an all-star from every team, right? And they also do it by position. So yeah, the Royals, they have four, right? Well, guess what? One of them is Salvi, a catcher. Like, you know what I mean? Like, there's not that many good catchers in the American League. They have to have a catcher. They also have to pick a backup catcher. Two of their other all-stars are pitchers, Cole Reagans and I'm drawing a blank on his name, Seth Lugo. These guys have been absolutely torching it, have way better stats than any of our pitchers, including Pablo Lopez, our best pitcher. So, like, even from that standpoint, why would I be upset that they have more when those guys individually have performed better than ours? So, from the team standpoint, yes, I hate it because we're better than them. We should have more all-stars. But, I mean, this is just the MLB. Like I said earlier, the freaking Padres have 5 all-stars. They're 2 games above 500. Like, that's just how the All-Star game works in MLB.
Agreed. 2 more questions. One Twins, one not. First Twins question from EC. Why do you think the Twins' attendance is down this year, despite being 7 wins better than they were at this point last year? Twins' attendance down across the board in comparison to last year.
That one stumps me. I'm not going to lie. That doesn't make any sense. We're better than we were last year at this point. We have maybe it's just because I would have to look at the ticket prices, right? I don't know those off the top of my head. I would have to look last year's prices in relation to this year. Obviously, inflation's a thing, so I would just assume that they're higher. Obviously, higher ticket prices usually means less people are going to attend your games. I think maybe the injuries have something to do with it. Byron Buxton's had a stint on the IL, Correa. It seems like we're always down at least one of our stars, and we don't have like all of our stars playing at the same exact time. So that might have something to do with it too, but it's definitely very puzzling.
Couple of ideas on it. Only 5 weekend series at home so far this year, as opposed to 8 last year. Obviously, home weekend series give you that a lot more attendance number. Also, the rain, ton of rain, obviously
Oh
in
yeah, good
Minnesota
point.
this
Why
year.
did I forget about
Given
that? Yeah.
so I think the weather also has a factor to play there. All right. Bust, I told you to do a little research before the pod on off-season moves last off-season in the MLB, and you were racking your brain on why. Here's why. Final question for you. Best off-season trade or free agent signing in hindsight?
Mm, okay. Just going through the list of the deadline moves last year. I mean, obviously, the most glaring ones are Shohei Ohtani to the Dodgers,
Yep.
obviously Juan Soto to the Yankees. I mean, these are guys that have been absolutely killing it all season on their new team, are likely gonna continue killing it after the All Star break. So those are the most glaring ones, obviously, that come to mind. Um, some more low key ones. I mean, I know he's on the IL now, and I hate to keep, shout out another big market, but getting Tyler Glass now from the Rays, that was an amazing move by the Dodgers in my eyes. They didn't really have to give up a ton for him, given his injury history, and he's been killing it up until his IL stint recently. I mean, I'm trying to think of. I feel like when it comes to MLB trade deadline, there are so many like under the radar moves that end up being completely irrelevant. Like I feel like that's the majority of the trade deadline is just moves that weren't even really relevant. So like that's the only reason why the big names just come to my head right away. Do you have anything? So I feel like
No.
you're getting other names than those
Yeah,
two, those three obvious ones.
I mean, those three obvious ones are the ones that came to mind. Glass now is the big one I thought of that wasn't like crazy, crazy obvious, because given his injury history, but he has been um, big for them. So that's it.
Okay,
Parties in.
here's a
Oh, go ahead.
low one. Paul Sewald.
Oh yeah,
D-backs acquired him last year. He was their closer. He was great down the stretch of the season last year. Great in the playoffs as they made their World Series appearance. He's dealt with injuries this year, so this season it hasn't really paid off for them. But that was definitely an amazing move at the deadline last year for sure.
I like it. So that is our MLB Q and A section. Boss, I do have a Q and A for you. That was our MLB mailbag section. Sorry, Hardy Donardos. And now, boss, I do have a Q and A for you.
Okay.
Once Royce comes back, how do the Twins play their infield?
Oh
What does the
man,
Twins infield look like when Royce comes back?
man, I've been thinking about that too. Shit, I would prefer to see. I would rather have Brooks play second. Brooks Lee. Now, you would assume Royce coming back would mean Brooks is going to go back to AAA. I hope that's not the case though, because Brooks has been absolutely killing it since being called up. I'm hoping he's here to stay for the rest of the season. So I'd like to see Brooks at second. I think Royce does his best work at third. Correa is obviously locked in at shortstop. He's one of the best defensive shortstops, if not the best in the entire league. Miranda is way better, I believe, at first than at third. I don't think he's a very good third baseman. He is adequate enough at first base. So that's how I would prefer to see the infield. Jeffers, obviously, your go-to catcher with Vasquez backing him up. You could put Santana as the DH. Obviously, when Miranda needs a rest, Santana will slide into that first base. But that's kind of how I prefer it shaken up. Did they offer a different way of looking at it, or was this question you made up in your head?
No different way offered. Just wanted your own opinion.
Yeah, I mean that's what I would do, right? Like I want Brooks on the team.
Yep.
I want him to stay. I want those are our monsters, right? You Brooks, Royce, Correa. Those guys are all locks right there, second, third, short. Miranda's been absolutely killing it. Spinny, I forgot to tell you, Brendan's been absolutely hounding me. You got to vindicate me for my Jose Miranda take from last year. I was like,
It was
no, you
last
said
year, Brendan. It doesn't count this
exactly.
year, buddy. That's not how
Thank
that
you.
works, bro.
You said Jose Miranda was your breakout player for 2023. Well, guess what? It's
Yeah.
2024. So you
Facts.
don't get that. You're wrong.
No credits to you, Brendan. All right, Hardies and Ardos. Thank
Spinny, I
you
have a
for.
Q&A for you then.
Ooh, okay.
It's just Twins vibes. I just want to hear your vibes because I feel like you've been the negative Nelly on the Twins all season. Has it improved at all after this recent offensive surge?
Yeah, I do think we're probably going to be a playoff team. So I think that part of it is good, but nothing has changed on the probably getting swept in the first round in the playoff series.
Okay.
Even if we win the division, I still feel that way, to be honest with you.
All right, fair enough. Can't really argue that at this point, but hopefully for once in our lifetime, the Twins will be buyers at the trade deadline and we could actually do something. But
Polad's buying stuff? Yeah.
yeah, weird.
Totally.
Billionaires buying? Weird.
Yeah.
What a weird
No
concept.
shot. I will believe it when I see it when it comes to those crazy cats.
For
All
real.
right. Hardies
All right,
and
Hardos. Wow. That was in sync, Spinny. We are
Jake, show
on
me a
point
soda,
today.
my guy.
Khyree Jackson episode. Rest in peace once again. We'll miss
Hug those
y'all.
friends and family up. We love you.